بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Saudi Arabian Airlines Technical Services Training Cost Center 815 presents Danobat CNC High Speed Blade Tip Grinding Machine. Operational training from July 26 to July 30th, 2004. Trip report by Omar Lowrey. In the construction of the modern jet engine, rotors have a multiplicity of individual blades which are attached loosely in slots running around the circumference of the rotor. With this configuration, during grinding and measuring operations, it is necessary to rotate at speeds which will stabilize even the lightest blade through centrifugal force. The advantages of utilizing modern CNC high-speed blade tip grinding machines result in improved specific fuel consumption and increased thrust. Additionally, the closer running tolerances have resulted in significantly reduced engine noise. The Danobat Group is the world leader in high-speed blade tip grinding. They manufacture a range of machine tools for precision grinding, deburring, and measuring the blade tips of finished jet engine assemblies. Saudi Arabian Airlines recently purchased the Dan-Tip R3 model machine tool for use in their Jet Propulsion Center located in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. At the date of this recording, Saudi's Dan-Tip R3 machine tool is currently being shipped from Spain to Jeddah. Upon delivery and installation of the machine, Technical Training would like to make the following training recommendations. We recommend that 2 courses be given by Danobat to our staff, the first of which is a machine calibration course covering all of the machine calibration procedures listed in Chapter 3 of the Maintenance Manual. A 5-day, 35 training hour course consisting of both classroom and on-job training. The second course is a machine programming and operation course consisting of 10 days or 70 training hours. The course should consist completely of actual hands-on training at the machine tool using the actual components, manuals, and tools normally used for the job. The course should include the programming and complete grinding and measuring of both RB211 rotors as well as the V2500 rotor. The operational training described in this report was performed on Saudi Arabian Airlines' very own machine tool in San Sebastian, Spain at the Danobat facility. The following detailed footage documents the operational training that took place from July 26 to July 30th, 2004. Nice guys back there.
First day to Danobat with Rico.
Upon arrival at the Danobat facility, we met with their staff to discuss the details of our planned training.
How do you spell it?
E.
Yes.
Then the second is like N.
And
A. Programming and so. And Eduardo more on the mechanical side. So he will teach you how to load the rotor, how to set, how to check the runouts, how to check the crash bars.
When we were finally led out to our brand new Dan-Tip R3 machine tool, The first thing that struck us was how large the machine really was. No matter how hard I tried and backed up, I could not get the whole machine into the view of the camera. As I walked around the machine for the first time, I was truly impressed with both its immensity and its design. The interior of the machine is maintained at 20 degrees Celsius. We found it a pleasant and spacious place to get our training underway.
On CD or
a certain specific position. The pedestal and also the table. The table comes so that you can load the component. It doesn't go to one end or the other. It's in the center so that it's easy to load the component. Apart from that,
it's not going to contain it.
No, the here, always the rotation of the, when we close the door, you will see that the airspeed will increase. It goes in this direction. It comes from here and it goes to the filters in that end.
The machine utilizes dual computers for communication with the FANUC computer numerical control, together with the latest state-of-the-art DAN BTM measurement system, giving the machine the ability to both grind and measure the blade tips simultaneously. The computer also comes with Danobat software for operation and programming. The machine also utilizes a remote camera so the operator can follow the progress of the operation in the safety of the control station.
it's not going to crash into the blades.
There is even a special control panel for the external air conditioning unit, which maintains the interior of the machine at a constant 20 degrees Celsius. The dedicated Danobat team made us feel welcome during our visit there. Machine calibrating procedures. The machine comes with special tooling and accessory equipment used in calibration. In order to achieve a correct operation of the machine, several parameters must be attained in advance. Owing to this necessity, several pieces of accurately known geometry and dimensions have been designed. The calibration masters or T-bars and the master wheel are examples of this special tooling. This digital indicator and calibration blocks are more examples of specialized tooling used in the calibration of the machine. There are over 25 calibration procedures listed in Chapter 3 of the Maintenance Manual. However, time did not permit us to perform each and every procedure.
They are mounting now the wheel for...
The master wheel is a special piece designed and made in order to adjust the wheel infeed, or x-axis, and to obtain the pivot point of the wheel head. It is shown here being mounted in the place of the normal grind wheel.
What? It only has 10,000 clearing. Don't put your finger there. Taking the protection. Now what is installing?
This is the cap that holds the wheel. This one is only used for breaking the tapers.
Exactly.
To break the do small taps with a hammer. Not bad.
This one easy to understand for guys that run all the time. You can understand that. So what he's doing, Omar, now?
He's checking the B-axis when it's at 0 degrees to make sure it's square. It's perpendicular exactly with the Z-axis, which is the axis they hold the compressor. No, you said you went Z, that's plus, huh?
Yes.
Plus over travel.
Yes, yes.
So to come off it now, you can just come minus and with the
Yes,
nothing else required.
we must reset the error. We can do it from here.
Oh, just
Yes. Push error acknowledge
okay.
and you can move again.
You can come off the Z over travel. But you can only move in the direction to take it off.
Okay?
Setting the wheel infeed slide, or X-axis, is shown here by touching off the master wheel on the LVDT1 probe.
The master wheel is not
Every
because
time you change the wheel.
no.
Here and knows the radius of the wheel.
Yeah.
And we are going to set up the double view axis at the table.
That's the concept. The next calibration procedure we'll look at is obtaining the radial position of the wheel calibration block utilizing the calibration masters, or T-bars, and a digital dial indicator. The dial indicator is assembled to the wheel pedestal by means of a special fixture allowing 3 different positions always aligned with the wheel center line.
Radius and the calibration block radius. For the T-bar,
With this procedure, the calibration masters, or T-bars, must be held in a position exactly perpendicular to the axis of the machine.
What is it, Omar? To check it? I'm not sure. To check the radius.
one more? Yes. So now we put here 0. Yeah. Is it 0? Yes. 0? And now we are going to copy the value of X.
The master rotor, which has its own serial number and weighs 630 kilograms, comes in its own box. The master rotor is a specially designed and manufactured piece of high tolerance precision tooling designed for calibrating the measurements of the machine. It is comprised of 4 stages, each stage with a different number of blades at a different diameter. Like any other rotor, the master rotor is held in the machine by special hydraulic chucks, which are mounted in the spindles of the aft and fore pedestal. Shown here are the 3 pairs of chucks, both aft and forward, which Saudi Airlines has ordered for holding their RB211 HPC and IPC rotors, as well as the V2500 HPC rotor. The master rotor is held utilizing the RB211 HPC aft chuck and the RB211 IPC forward chuck. The mounting stand is used to hold the rotor and the aft and forward spindles, while the chucks are mounted and then the rotor is fastened to the chucks. Then the entire assembly, rotor, chucks, and spindles, is hoisted as one unit and moved into the machine and placed into the pedestals. Each rotor has a special crash bar designed for that particular rotor, which must be mounted in the machine. The purpose of the crash bar is to protect the Dan BTM measuring gauge from ever crashing into any rotor at any point of the rotor. Special care must be taken when hoisting the rotor, chuck, and spindle assembly up and into the machine, as you pass directly over the Dan BTM measuring gauge, one of the most expensive components in the machine tool. Of course, an excellent hoist in perfect operating condition must be used for the job, as even the slightest error could spell disaster.
Yeah, but that one is okay now?
After the master rotor has come safely to rest in the pedestals, it must be indicated in using the hydraulic chucks to reduce the master rotor runout below 3/10,000ths of an inch. The work drive unit transmits a rotation movement to the rotor assembly via a matrix coupling.
Why the cover is open in this way? Why? Preparation is everything over there.
No, because
Inside.
we make
All preparation that has not been done is
After the rotor assembly is safely clamped in the pedestals, the matrix coupling is engaged, then all the doors are closed and the operators retreat to the safety of the workstation where all measurements of the master rotor will be monitored. The final calibration procedure consists of measuring the master rotor at high RPM and comparing results obtained with the master rotor dimensions.
one is bigger blade.
One bigger.
The one we put in the
Show us again.
second stage, another bigger one.
Oh,
In the third stage.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Danobat's DAN BTM technology is the latest state-of-the-art, most accurate, and best repeating blade tip radius measurement system on the market. The unit is programmed to measure each blade in a stage in turn, transmitting the data generated to the control. The results of measuring of each blade in one stage can be checked by operators on a screen in real time. With the calibration procedures completed, the master rotor is put safely back in the stand and preparations get underway to grind one of Saudi's engine rotors. V2500 rotor grinding. Before we can start grinding a rotor, we must make absolutely sure that we have the correct grind wheels properly mounted in the self-balancing flanges, and that these flange and grind wheel assemblies are properly mounted in the machine tool.
Mine.
For each stage, we remove 10 parts. So if we have a 7-stage component,
70.
The dresser is used to dress the grind wheels to the true profile, using one diamond roller spindle and a diamond roller for each wheel. The grinding wheel is dressed according to the dressing program input in the CNC unit. Here we have removed one of the dressing units for training purposes. We can disassemble it, see how the diamond roller is replaced, and reassemble it and put it back into the machine. Here you can see a new diamond roller before and after installation. Before any rotor can be mounted for grinding, the programmable aft pedestal must be positioned via the CNC control. The hydraulic chucks for the V2500 HPC rotor are then mounted into the spindle. The rotor is relocated into the stand, mounted onto the spindles, and clamped into the pedestals in the machine. Here the instructor is checking the crash bar for the V2500 rotor to make sure that the DAN BTM measuring gauge will never make contact with the rotor. Now we can see the Danobat operational software in full control of the machine as it grinds the V2500 HPC rotor on the most forward stage.
One dressing table. You're the pilot, sorry. That's a very big, I will save this in...
The DAN BTM measuring system actually shows the operator the size of each individual blade simultaneously while the machine is grinding.
Right? It's lower. You need to go lower. It's faster.
After blade tip grinding, the blade tips are deburred using the automatic deburr brush unit. The machine lowers and raises the arm automatically during the deburring cycle, which is controlled from the CNC unit installed in the machine and is operated with controlled torque in order to prevent excessive stresses being applied on the rotor blades. The finished product is impressive to see, especially when you take into mind the close tolerances that the blades have been ground to. With the V2500 HPC rotor safely back in the stand, we can now prepare for the final stage of our operational training. RB211 rotor grinding. While the RB211 chucks are being mounted to the aft and forward spindles, and the RB211 rotor is being prepared for grinding, we look inside the machine and make sure that the aft pedestal has been properly programmed and is in the right position, and that the grind wheels are ready. Having bolstered their confidence by loading and unloading several rotors into the machine, the Saudi Arabian Airlines training team went into high gear, installing the crash bar and loading the RB211 rotor into the machine. One of the special features which has been ordered for Saudia's Dan-tipped R3 machine is automatic hydraulic clamping for both the aft and forward pedestal. Rotor runout is always reduced to a minimum prior to grinding.
I don't believe the first stage.
The RB211 rotor grinding went smoothly and was truly remarkable. As the RB211 rotor came to a stop, we knew that our training had been completed successfully. After completion of our training, we were awarded training certificates from the Danobat Group for high-speed blade tip grinding machine operator training.
يا ولد فلاشات من هنا ومن هنا.
عمر لاوري.
عمر لاوري.
ما شاء الله ما شاء الله عمر.
Handshake for Fawad only. Thank you very much.
يا بنت
يا أخي لا تقل للوداع يا أخي يا أخي فخرنا الاجتماع يا أخي لا تقل للوداع يا أخي فخرنا الاجتماع يا أخي لا تقل للوداع يا أخي فخرنا الاجتماع يا أخي لا تقل للوداع يا أخي فخرنا الاجتماع في طريق الخير